Hello there guys, my name is MrYorkiesWorld and welcome back to the channel for the first time in a long time. Apologies about the delay in video content. I have been incredibly busy over the past few weeks, almost a month in fact, if I correctly remember. We are on the ground today at Sydney, or Yankee Sierra Sierra Yankee, with the PMDG 737-800 with Virgin Australia Flight 882 to Melbourne, and we've also got some exciting new Orbx Australia version 2 to check out. I'm hoping that this is all going to work, because if you've seen my social media posts, you'll know that Orbx has been causing me an absolute just nightmare. We've also got the latest GSX update, so we've got some new animations and things like that happening, which we should be able to see in a moment. Some new models, as we can see down here. The truck driver and the guy with the trolley should be coming out in a moment as well. They've all got new animations and stuff. Here we go. A little bit more fluid, a little bit more believable than what it was previously. The modelling is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. So we're currently getting catered up at gate Delta 42. It is currently, let's have a look at the time, 4:29 Zulu, and according to my sheet it says 5:10 Zulu we should be departing, and arriving at 6:25 Zulu, or it will be 4:25 PM local time. So straight away, let's get into it. We can go down and put some fuel in. So the total fuel is going to be 6,948, so 6,948 kilograms of fuel. Let me just close the right entries, because the catering's finished. We could also go ahead and request boarding as well while we're at it. We can go auto brake to RTO, TCAS to standby. I've not actually got my checklist in front of me, so that's pretty exciting. Right, let's just have a look. Here we go, checklists. Right. So, parking brake is already set. We've got the fuel and payload. Well, actually, we've not got the payload. But what we will do is we're just going to select a random value for today's flight, like so. So, fuel pumps, we can turn on the aft fuel pump. Passengers are apparently going to be boarding now. ISO valve to auto. Start ignition switch to both, or just in the middle. That's how I like it. We can start the APU. Our pressurization. So the flight level today is going to be flight level 350. Like so. We can arm the emergency lights. Seatbelts and the chime. We've got some passengers coming on board now. IRS, we do in fact need to align them to nav. And we've already got the transponder set, that's all good. Can we see any passengers? I mean, look at this. We have got some more animations, but I mean, this is a little bit of a disappointment. I don't know whether it's a new guy or whether it's just the same old guy, but the animation there seemed a little bit sort of the same as what we've seen in the past, which is a bit frustrating. I would have liked to seen these guys be replaced as well as the other guys. But where are the passengers? Can we see if we go to a top-down view? It looks like we've got some baggage. Cannot wait to test out this Orbx Australia version 2. Look at that. And the passengers will be on their way somewhere. So, let's go ahead and start Pro ATCX, because we're not going to get anywhere unless we've got guidance from Pro ATCX. If it actually works, bear with me a second. As it worked, we may be suffering a little bit of a technical difficulty with Pro ATCX. Right. It's taking its time, but I think we've got there. Right. Let's just transfer over We can request clearance. In fact, I don't even think that's going to work. There we go.
Velocity 882 with 80 request clearance.
Velocity 882. Expect clearance within 2 minutes.
Finally, right, okay. VORs, traffic and data. It is working, but it's just taking its time for some bizarre reason. We are indeed just waiting for clearance. Definitely taking its time.
Velocity
Here we go.
882. Are you ready to copy?
We're ready. Go ahead.
Velocity 882. Clear to Yankee Mike Lima via the Alpha November Kilo Uniform Bravo 1 transition Charlie Oscar Romeo Delta Oscar departure route and then S file climb and maintain 8,000. Expect flight level.
So 8,000 feet
350 within 10 minutes
on the
after
initial.
departure frequency is 118.4 squawk 5627.
That gives us runway 34 left for departure, which is 335 on the heading.
COR Delta Oscar climb to 8,000.
Right, let's go ahead and put the information in.
Within 10 minutes after departure.
So pause in it. We are at YSSY gate Delta 42, which of course is not going to work, but that's where we are. GPSL, and hopefully this will work. So YSSY to YMML. Finally, there we go. So 34 left, or thankfully should I say. And our flight number today is Victor Oscar Zulu. There it is. 882. Activate and execute. Our reserves are going to be 1.05. The cost index is 12, I believe, for Virgin Australia. And 350 is going to be our cruise altitude today. So 24k D rate. We're going to use flaps 5. And I will go ahead and just get some wind information. So bear with me a second. So 330 at 7. So 138 knots is going to be our V2 speed. Let's just check that actually, because we need to go ahead and select the departure. So departure, we're going to be departing using the Ancub 1, which is there, with the Cordo transition. And if we put the arrival in, because it's only about an hour and a half or something like that. In fact, no, it's an hour and 15 minutes, the flight. So we're going to be arriving ILS Zulu 27. And we're going to be using no arrival, apparently. Which is unusual. Doesn't say any particular approach. So let's just select that, and we will of course probably have some discontinuities as a result. Let's just get rid of them. We can transfer the APU power, yaw damper and window heat switches. I will go ahead and just test the TCAS. And we can arm LNAV and VNAV.
TCAS test pass.
TCAS has passed, that's all good. Now, stupid me, I thought we were going to be able to see the passengers, but we're actually not, because we've got a jetway attached. So I should have realised that. That's why we're not actually seeing the passengers at the moment. That's fine, that's no problem at all. But look at this. Look how lovely this airport is. Good old Sydney. And I cannot wait to... I mean, look at that in the background there. Oops, what the hell happened there? Weird bug with the lighting. But anyways, you can see over there we've got a lot of buildings. And somewhere on the horizon maybe we should be able to see some realistic scenery. Because this is Orbx Australia version 2, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's just set the altimeter, that's fine. And it's just a case now of waiting for the passengers to board the aircraft. So, without further ado, I will catch up with you guys in just a few moments when everybody's got on the aircraft, when we've got that weird bug again. That is very strange, I'll have to figure out what's causing it. But nevertheless, I'll catch up with you guys in just a few minutes. Right, okay, so as quick as I said I'll see you in a minute, the boarding was completed. And we've got the annoying GSX beep, which I've recently updated GSX, and it gets rid of my voice pack, and it also re-enables the beeping noise, which I previously deleted the files for because it's incredibly annoying. But nevertheless, we've got the doors, which are all closed. We can just check that. Not that it would be incorrect. And let's go ahead and disconnect the jetway as well. Like so. We can request startup and pushback.
Ground velocity 882. Request startup and pushback.
Auto throttle.
Startup and pushback approved.
Hydraulics and fuel pumps. And we could also put the anti-collision light on. Like so. Ground equipment. Removed. Put this onto the takeoff ref page, and the second FMC I'm going to put onto the legs page. So we're going to go tail right today. Here's the tug. Again, same old guy. I wish it was a little bit different. Kind of like the guys at the beginning there that were doing the catering. That it would be nice to have the same sort of design.
We're ready for pushback.
Making sure the joystick works. It's been a while since I actually used it. It's very, very dusty. It's a Thrustmaster HOTAS 1. I get asked a hell of a lot.
Locking gear.
But yes, it is indeed the Thrustmaster HOTAS 1 X, I believe.
Departure check completed. Bypass bin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Brakes are released.
Push. All engines clear.
Engine
Start at
2.
will.
Looking for 25%. In fact, I think I'll just go for it right now. Hopefully we will also see the immersion pack in action and working. If not now, then maybe on takeoff. Pretty busy today. There was engine 2's cutout. We can go ahead and start engine number 1. Very annoying issue with the panning and the lighting. Not sure what causes that. If anybody has any ideas that would fix it, please let me know. And what the heck, we're just going to go ahead and release it.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set. What I will do is a quick controls check. So full left, full right, full forward, full back, And full left and right on the rudder as well. That's all completed. So before taxi, probe heats. Anti-ice is not required. Engines to continuous. Packs to auto. APU bleed. Once we've transferred the power, APU bleed is off. The APU itself is off. The flaps. Wrong way, there we go. Flaps 5 and trim is also going to be 5. And there are the flaps.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Right. Tug appears to have disappeared, that's fine. Taxi and turn-offs. Oh, there he is, there's a guy over there. Got out of the way pretty quick. Right, okay, so we can request taxi to the runway.
Ground velocity 882. Request taxi.
VOZ882. Taxi via Bravo 4 Charlie Alpha 6 to runway 34 left.
Via Bravo 4 Charlie Alpha
Okay.
6 to runway 34 left.
Releasing the parking brake.
882.
Powering up a little bit. Maybe that was a little bit too much, but there we go, and we're away. Not entirely sure what's going on with these signs in the very middle of the taxiway. That's not very convenient. So again, a little bit of information about this flight before we get going. Again, we are with Virgin Australia Flight 882 in the PMDG 737-800 today from here at Sydney to Melbourne, Australia, with flight level 350 today. We've just departed gate Delta 42 and we should be arriving at gate 6 according to FlightAware. So whether that happens or not, that's another story. But nevertheless, I will catch up with you guys in just a few moments. Or it will be for you. When I get to the runway. But look at this, look how busy we are. We've got aircraft everywhere. And now he's going to be in my way. So nevertheless, guys, I will catch up with you in a few moments. Right, okay, so here we are. We've got a Jetstar aircraft in front of us. It looks like a A320 or A318-19. Got to be one of them. Or it could be a 21. I am absolutely hopeless when it comes to identifying aircraft, but here we go. We are second in line. And it looks like the Jetstar is going to line up straight away. Maybe not, maybe not. There we go.
223, holding short of runway 34 left.
223, line up runway 34 left.
Lining up runway 34 left, Jetstar 223.
I could probably get a little bit closer and get a good view of this takeoff. And I will put myself in the queue to go.
Tower velocity 882. Holding short of runway 34 left.
VOZ882. Hold your position.
Holding our position. Velocity 882.
And there he goes.
VOZ882. Line up runway 34 left.
Lining up
And we've been clear to line up.
Velocity 882.
There he goes. And there we go. Almost off the end of the taxiway, or runway. What the heck is going on with the runway textures? There's two numbers there, but nevertheless.
Runway 34 left, cleared for takeoff. Velocity
40%. Start the clock. And toga. Very, very unusual runway this. I'm not sure what's going on. Which line do I actually follow? V1. And rotate.
V2.
Positive rate, gear up. Look at that. As we take off into the skies, just do this turn to the left.
VOZ882 VOAN K Uniform Bravo 1 transition COR.
Look at that, absolutely beautiful.
8000.
Definitely something going on
Uniform Bravo 1 transition
in terms of textures.
departure climbing.
Not very happy about that. Again, this is probably Orbx's fault. Been having some serious problems with it lately.
Maintain present altitude.
Present altitude, Victor, Hotel, Foxtrot, Sierra, Yankee.
Going to bring the flaps up. And I am even going to go ahead and arm the autopilot.
VOZ882 to ANKUV.
Wonderful, apart from Sydney being very unusually overlapped with multiple textures. I'm not sure what's caused it, but there we go. Nevertheless, engines to the off position, runway turn-offs can come off. Seatbelts we can set to auto. And away we go. Following the SID. Beautiful, beautiful views. I'm happy to finally have Orbx Australia version 2 reasonably working after the fiasco that we had. I had to reinstall the simulator about 3 or 4 times
YSSY, descent to 1000.
Descending to 1000.
to get things working properly. So gear can go to the off position now. I will just bug up the current heading, even though it's going to change. And of course we are coming up very, very nicely now on 8,000 feet, which is our initial altitude.
VOZ882, climb to flight level 210.
Climbing to
210.
Velocity 882.
And we can disarm the auto brake as well. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Just as we make this lovely left turn. Magnificent. Look at that effect. There goes 10,000 feet. We can switch off the landing lights. And the seatbelts can come off. Or they're already on auto, so it doesn't really matter. But what a gorgeous view. Looks like there's an aircraft directly in front of us. And it's an A320.
Project 1, with you at flight level 160.
1 identified.
One thing we did forget to do, in fact, was go into the FMC and what am I doing? Fix, there we go. So Yankee, Mike, Lima. Put the fix rings around. Like so. And if we go to the legs page on both, we can zoom out a little bit. You can see that it's not actually that much of a long flight, or that long of a flight. Top of climb's there, so we're not too far away. I'm still wondering why we've not been given any star. We've been given a SID, but not a star. It's unusual. But there we can see the final bit of land that we're going to be able to see before... Oh, look at that. There we go, that's better. This is the final bit of land that we're going to see until we actually get there, really. But nevertheless, I cannot believe the view. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So without further ado, look at that. I will catch up with you guys a little bit later on into the flight. I'm going to leave you with some lovely cinematics on the way over to Melbourne. We can go ahead and set standard as well. I'll see you in a bit. So 340.
340, velocity 882.
Can begin that descent now. Looking lovely. Can just about make out some of those amazing textures that Orbx have gone ahead and provided. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I was hoping that they'd give us some sort of star, but it doesn't appear that they have. And I don't think I can request one either. At least not right now. So it might just be a case of having to wait until we get a bit closer, and then maybe we might be able to select our own star. But if not, we are literally just going to be doing exactly what Pro ATCX says. So that's not a problem. We've already tuned to the frequency, 109.30. And we're just about to make a nice left turn. 230.
Descending to flight level 230, velocity 882.
Just as we begin this lovely left turn, which we should be able to see some more of the lovely clouds and fog effects coming from it there. Look at that, so much detail. And if we look over here, that's a little town or something there. Just as we turn left at the waypoint called Ebony. And without further ado, we can see that top of descent is actually going away from us because we've already just decided to start the descent a little bit early, but that's fine. So I'm going to catch up with you guys a little bit later on, once we are a little bit closer to the ground and ready to land this bird. So I'll catch you in a minute. Okay guys, so as you can see, we are literally about to make a right-hand turn, which should take us onto our final approach. Here's the decel zone. We're currently at 250. 2,500 feet now.
Descending to 2,500 QNH 1030.
And I've just armed approach. Why have I done that? Nevertheless, it looks like we're going to have to do it. Going to go flaps 1. I'm just going to reduce the speed down. 230. No idea why I've just chosen flaps 1. That was a mistake. Let's just go down to 220 knots. Bit of lag there. Not sure what happened. So we're now in approach mode, even though we're not actually ready to go into approach mode, which is absolutely fantastic. We're going to go flaps 5. That's what happens when you click the wrong thing after having such a long time away from this aircraft. Speed brakes are armed. Our final approach speed is 134 plus 5, 139. Zero visibility at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and switch on the wing light. Passenger signs are on, landing lights, runway turn-offs and everything. And we're looking good in terms of deceleration and everything. Or descent, what the hell am I on about? Deceleration. That's because I've seen this, the green decel thing. Absolutely cannot believe... Oh, there we go. We've got VOR lock on. That should help us out a little bit. Let's just drop the speed down again. We have got a headwind, or a head/crosswind of 10 knots. Let's just help us slow down a little bit. Some speed brakes. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous. Put those away now. I'm going to go flaps 10. And what did it tell us to descend to?
Say again. Velocity 882. VOZ882. Descend to 2,500.
2,500, that's fine. I thought that it had automatically set itself to 2,500 by mistake, but it's fine.
Descending to 2,500 QNH 1030. Velocity 882.
2,500.
2,500, checked. We've got another lag spike. Not a fan of those. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous scenery. Just hoping that the performance is going to be acceptable. A little bit of stutter. 6:04 Zulu, and we're supposed to land at 6:25 Zulu, so we're going to be a nice 20 minutes early. Always a good thing. Increase that speed a little bit just to help with the attitude, just so we don't lift the nose up too high. Gorgeous, gorgeous scenery. Absolutely magnificent. And we're just waiting on the localizer diamond to come in. And switch off VOR lock until that happens. Sort of panicked myself when I accidentally clicked approach mode. Ever so slightly it's coming in. I mean, you can see if you look on EFB, here are the feathers, so we should be capturing that localizer any moment. It's getting closer and closer.
882, descent to 2,500 cleared. Final approach. Tower at the marker. Frequency is 120.52.
Descending to 2,500. Velocity.
And we're already at 2,500, so that's okay. The wind's dropped as well, it's only 6 knots now. Not too bad at all.
Tower velocity 882. On final, request landing, runway 27.
Velocity.
It says that we're on final.
Final approach speed QNH 1030.
However,
land runway 27.
Final approach.
we haven't even captured the localizer yet.
Land runway 27. Velocity 882.
Let's just turn on VOR lock. Here it comes. We're going to go with gear down and flaps 15. Look at those effects. Wonderful. Flaps 25. And we can also go flap 30 with approach hold. Look at that. Second autopilot. Make sure the speed brake's armed, which it is, and we are fully configured. Beautiful effects, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. So land 3 is confirmed. No other traffic nearby, so that's good. Seemed for a moment there as if approach mode had just taken itself out. We seem a little bit high, but it's okay. That's just me. I've not flown the simulator for a while, so do forgive me if I get it wrong. And for some reason I'm not getting any wind, which is not very helpful. I'm going to take manual control just because I've got a bad feeling about this. I don't know what it is, but something tells me we might have something go wrong in a minute. Not 100% happy with letting the aircraft sort itself out there. But we're looking okay. 400 feet. A little bit low. Continue. Touchdown. Reverses. Decel. 60 knots, manual braking.
Gate is left. Contact ground on 121.72.
121.72. Velocity 8.
We can disarm the auto brake. Probably should have not braked as hard there, actually. But nevertheless, welcome everybody to Melbourne. It is 6:11 Zulu. Or 4:11 local time. And we're going to take a look at those replays as soon as we stop over here. Because that was almost a go-around. I wasn't 100% happy up until the last split second. There was a little bit of an iffy approach, if you ask me. There's something about it. Whether it's because I've not been in the sim for a while, I don't know. Right, let's just put the parking brake on. I'm going to go ahead and just turn off UT Live, and we will take a look at some of those replays. Right, okay, so after that replay, I am satisfied that although it was a single gear touchdown, I think it was like I can't remember, was it left or right gear? I can't remember. But it wasn't actually as hard as I thought it was, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So we're going to go ahead and raise the flaps, or retract them. Look at that sun. And we're going to request from Pro ATCX to taxi to parking.
Ground velocity 882 is cleared of the runway. Request taxi to parking.
Victor Oscar Zulu 882. Taxi via November Echo Alpha Golf to Terminal 1 Gate East Ladder.
So Terminal 1 Gate East Niner.
Velocity 882.
We don't need a follow me. Virgin Australia. Let me just select that on EFB. There we go. Right, okay, so auto brake is disarmed. That's all okay. Flaps have been retracted. We can go ahead and switch off the TCAS. Switch over these frequencies. We can set the engines to the off position, taxi lights on, landing lights off, strobes to steady. We can start the APU. Probe heats can come off. Right. Okay. So once again, welcome everybody to Melbourne, Australia. 6:17 Zulu now. Nice and early. Absolutely gorgeous views on the way here. Lovely scenery as well. It's a little bit laggy. Simulator is definitely not performing as well as I'd like it to, as of late. And it seems as though ever since the upgrade from 4.4, there is still, especially after the hotfix, there is still this major performance issue in P3D. Sometimes it just runs absolutely fantastically. Other times it's just like a PowerPoint presentation. And of course it's full of bugs, such as that shadow that we see there from the virtual cockpit, the flight deck shadow. And although there are ways and workarounds, it shouldn't really be there. It should be a case of it isn't there in an ideal world, regardless of settings. But I suppose you can't really have your cake and eat it, specifically in the flight sim world. So the gate itself is actually quite a distance away, but I'm not going to skip ahead straight away because I'm very, very impressed with this particular piece of scenery. I can't remember who the scenery is by. I will have to check that actually, and I'll probably put it in the description of the video. But there we go. But nevertheless, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the overall experience. Finally got Orbx Australia version 2 working, which was one of my main reasons for taking a bit of time off. And that was literally because I spent that much time trying to sort the problems out with Orbx. But it sort of makes you lose a little bit of motivation, I suppose. Hopefully that's all sorted. We're about to cross a runway, so I'm going to turn on the TCAS again. There is nothing, according to EFB, in either direction. So landing lights and strobes. A little bit fast. 18 knots. But it's fine. And here is where we see all the big, heavy aircraft. The big Emirates over there. We've got a Qantas and stuff like that. One of the main reasons that I love Melbourne. This particular piece of scenery is very, very detailed. So, we're off that runway now. Can turn all this back off. And we want to be taking the next right onto Alpha. Hate it when it lags like that. Sort of ruins the immersion. But there's absolutely nothing I can do about it, I'm afraid. It's just an issue with the simulator.
Rock 3682, request taxi. 3682, taxi.
And here we get to see the amazing scenery, so if I take a look in a minute, once we're actually nice and level, there we go. Wonderful. Very, very detailed. I'm sure this is Orbx. This scenery, I'm sure it is. Orbx Melbourne. I could be wrong. But as ever, I will put it in the description if so. Let's just cancel those down. There we go. And take that back down to 0. Right, so it's the next left onto uniform. And I can almost guarantee that I've took the wrong turning, have I? Actually, no, maybe not. No, we're okay. And it is Echo 9 is the gate that we're going to be arriving at, hopefully. There it is. There's GSX. So what I will attempt to do is just turn off these lights before we turn onto the stand. Right, let's just take a look, because I think if we begin that right turn, here we go. Like so. Try and get it as exact as I can. And it's a little bit close for my liking, that. But I'll try and go with it. There we go. Parking brake set. Am I too far forward? Actually, no. We turned out okay. Right. Power has already been transferred. So with that, what I probably should have done before I did that was connect ground power and everything else. Right, there we go. Let's switch all this off. Wing more like. Anti-collision, we can leave that on a second just while I turn everything else off. Like so. Switch off the APU itself. Let's have a look. ISO valve. We can open. We can request deboarding. In fact, is there a jetway? Oh, it's got a default jetway, that's okay. Is it actually going to work? Well, according to GSX, the jetway operation is completed. It hasn't, let's put it that way, if I can speak without losing my voice. So, air stare. We will request deboarding. Not sure why it said that it's completed when it hasn't, but there we go. But nevertheless, despite all of the issues that we've faced today, thank you very much. Look at that. Thank you very much for watching. Welcome once again to Melbourne, Australia. This has been an absolutely fantastic experience seeing the Orbx AU version 2, or Australia version 2, along with Orbx, I'm sure it is, Melbourne as well, which I believe it's the first time we've checked it out on the channel. It may well be the first time we've actually checked out Sydney as well. And we've got this pretty nice livery for the 737. And again, I'm losing my voice. I do apologise. But thank you very much for watching, guys. As ever, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.